Hello, you amazing people. Welcome back to RX Memes. Today we are jumping into another r/I do work here. Lady, I loved doing this in my previous video this week and you guys seem to like it, so we are doing it again. As always, if you like today's video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button, and let's get right on into it. Security won't let me into my workplace despite seeing me enter often. I'm on mobile, so I apologize for any formatting problems. Some quick backstory. My city's hockey team has a very nice facility that includes many concessions in the arena, as well as a restaurant with a viewing area to overlook the game. Last year, I worked as a dishwasher in the restaurant, but now I work as a cook in the concessions. This particular story happened last year on multiple occasions. Because I was a dishwasher, I often wasn't scheduled until an hour before we opened or right when we opened, as they didn't need dishwashers during pre-opening prep. And since we relied solely on hockey game attendees, we were only open on game days, and opened an hour before the game was scheduled to start. This obviously means that by the time I would arrive, security was setting up at their ticket-taking areas. One of the ticket-taking areas, in particular, was where I needed to get through to reach the staff entrance to the kitchen. Some of the security and event staff recognized me and would just say hello as I walked through, but there was a few times that others would stop me and not let me go in. I can remember one of these conversations really well, but it's not word for word, because it happened over a year ago.
Where are you going? Where's your ticket?
Oh, I don't have one. I work in the restaurant. At this point, I was already running a little late and just wanted to get inside and get to work because I didn't know how many dishes were waiting for me by now.
I need some ID to prove that.
Of all of the staff who work in the restaurant and concessions, the only people who have said ID, which by the way is a city-issued ID saying they are city employees, so our head chef, the restaurant coordinator, front of house coordinator, etc. So obviously I would not have one. I don't have ID. I'm a dishwasher. We're not important enough.
Then I can't let you in.
Come on. You can literally pull anyone out of the restaurant right now. I motion over to the servers who are setting up for the night, just inside the front entrance to the restaurant, all of whom know me well, and they will tell you that I work here. Seriously, I just have to get in so I can do my job. The security guard looked at me for a minute, then I guess decided it wasn't worth it and said,
Fine, go, but bring some ID next time.
Despite me saying that I don't have ID anyway. But whatever, I got inside so I didn't press it. Luckily, I now work in concessions, so I'm at work most of the time before security even shows up, so I don't run into this problem anymore. But a guy I work with in the concession had an interesting run-in with security just the other night as we were taking out the garbage at the end of our shift. Between 6 total concession cooks, we have to gather up all the garbage produced by concessions and wheel it out in 2 large bins. To get to the compactor, though, we have to go through restricted access doors that only players and staff can enter. Everyone keeps their work uniform on as we do this, except for myself. I normally change back into my street clothes by then. They just have a jacket or sweater over top because we have to go outside, and this is Canada, in January. We had finished everything earlier than normal, so when we took the garbages out, security was still there. 6 of us, 2 giant garbage bins, and the security stops the one dark-skinned black guy in our group and tells him he can't go back there. So he just says,
I work here,
and keeps walking with us as the security guy shouts behind us,
Hey, you can't do that.
We all had a good laugh at that later. Actually, I'm the owner. Okay. So backstory, 1, I'm young, like just turned 18 young, and me and my mother own this business where we breed and sell snakes and the snake's necessities along with food. I'm the actual founder while my mom is the co-founder. Story. I was tending to the store since only me and my mom work there and it was a slow day for us. So I was checking on all the animals, feeding the ones that needed feed, and so on. This one person, we will call them entitled parent, EP comes in and is just looking at all the animals, and I thought nothing of it, until about 5 minutes or so go by. When they walk up to the counter and EP snaps at me to get my attention. I look up slightly offended by how EP decided to grab my attention. Yes, may I help you? Yeah, I was wondering how much this one, while pointing at the tank, is. I'm not for sure, let me check for you, I say while walking to the tank. Well, it says here it's only $60.
$60? Just a couple of days ago I saw this exact one for only $30.
No, I'm sorry, that one was sold already and we changed it out.
You can't just change the price because it's a different one. It's still the same breed and everything.
Well, yes, while it is the same breed, it is much bigger than the other, as the other was younger than this one. It cost us more to maintain this particular one than the last.
Well, I don't have that much. Can you give me a discount?
I'm sorry, but I cannot do that for you.
Please, I only have 50 on me.
Well, I can't give you a discount, but we have some that are smaller than this and are cheaper. They're in the back if you want me to bring you one out.
No, I don't want another one. I want this one.
Well, I'm sorry, I can't lower the price for this one. Like I said a few seconds ago, we have more in the back if you want this particular breed.
I don't fucking want a different one. I would like this.
Please watch your language. There is a kid nearby.
I don't care. I want to buy this fucking animal.
I'm sorry, I cannot help you.
Let me speak to the manager.
Well, I am the manager.
Fine, I'm gonna call the owner.
Actually, I am the owner also.
Don't lie to me. You're not even old enough to own a car, nonetheless a store.
Yes, I am old enough, and the owner, while my mom is the co-owner.
Quit fucking lying to me, bitch. I want to speak to the actual fucking owner and not some smart-ass teen.
Please watch what you say or I will have to ask you to leave.
You can't kick me out. I know the real owner and he lets me get a discount if I don't have enough all the time.
Well, that's good for you. Now, if you're not going to buy this one and only cause a disturbance in my store, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
No, I'm not going to leave. You were going to give me a discount and that is that.
Now I'm mad because one, EP is yelling and cussing at me when I can't change the price and making a scene over this and straight out ignoring me.
So sell it to me now or I will call the owner and he will sell it to me.
She then walks over to the counter where our cards are with my name and number. EP dials the number and then answers the phone at first. I was confused because it states on the card that I'm the owner, but then I remembered it had my mom's number also on the card and EP actually called hers instead. Luckily, my mom told EP to fuck off pretty much, and EP then tried to call the other number instead. While EP was dialing my number, EP had this shit-eating grin on while looking me dead in the eyes. I will never forget the look on EP's face when I answered the phone. Hello, this is the name of Snake Shop. My name's speaking. How are you? What I will never understand is why EP got so upset about that animal. Sweetheart, EPs don't need a reason to get upset. They will find one. And they will get upset. I didn't sneak in, and I do belong here. I've been listening to YouTubers read stories from this sub for the longest time and decided it was high time to jump in and share one of my own. Sorry for formatting, I'm on mobile. You've heard this all before. To preface, when I was in high school, students were supposed to stay outside until 20 minutes before class started. No one was allowed in the building before this point. The only exceptions to this rule being myself and a classmate of mine, seeing as we delivered tote bags containing the day's breakfast supply to each classroom. So we got in about an hour early every morning. One time we were doing our usual thing, and after I finished handing out all of the bags, I headed to my locker to grab whatever I needed for homeroom. Can't really remember what it was, and it hardly matters now. The teacher, whose classroom sat facing my locker, somehow didn't know that my friend and I were allowed in the building and immediately stormed over to berate me for having had the audacity to trespass before school hours. She insisted that I sit on the ground outside like a toddler and wait while she called the principal. I can't remember exactly what she said to him, but he essentially told her that I did in fact belong in the building because I was doing volunteer work for the school. She hung up on him. Told me that since I had finished handing out breakfast early, I wasn't allowed to wander the halls, and kept me sitting outside her class on the ground until the first bell rang, all the while making these huffing noises and sighing every few minutes. I don't remember what she said before calling the principal exactly, but I do remember being distraught enough about the whole interaction to start crying about it to my friend once we met back up. I'd say I was a pretty good kid, and I've never been one to deal well with feeling like I'm in trouble. My buddy must have said something about it to the principal at some point because during lunch he came to personally apologize to me on behalf of the teacher. It was really validating to have one of her bosses call out the fact that her little power trip was unprofessional and to ignore her if it happened in the future. It didn't happen again, but I did hold a grudge when I was placed in her AP literature class the next year. I don't think she really remembered who I was though. Must have been having a rough morning that day. She probably did remember, but she probably is acting like she has selective memory, because she would be humiliated to, I don't know. Anyways, Alright everybody, that's it for today's video. I hope that you like those 3 stories. It's just so satisfying. I know I say every story is always satisfying in all my videos, but it's just so true. As always, if you like today's video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to be updated every time I upload. If you want to touch base with me outside of YouTube, my socials are somewhere on the screen right now, and I do have a Discord. I still am learning how to use it, so you can add me there too if you want. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!